Now this is where things get really intense. Aezra drives Skye back to his condo, and on the drive he tries to ask her what the hell was going on with Elias when I came in. And she's like, no sir, we're not talking about this. And also, you behaved like a total tool. That was fucked up. What the hell? And he claims he was only trying to show her that Elias is not the guy she thinks he is. Skye doesn't want to hear it. She feels like we do, where we're like, oh my god, Aezra. So Aezra parks at the condo, and Skye immediately gets out, storms into the building, makes it super hard for Aezra to follow her. She like keeps him back with like an invisible force field. She prevents the elevators from working, so he has to run up all those stairs because he lives on like the 10th floor or something like that. So he has to go all the way up there. He even breaks into his condo just to aggravate him more and push his buttons. And the minute he comes in, she lays him out on a wooden coffee table, breaks it, shatters underneath his weight. But luckily for him, none of the wood punctured more than a few shallow cuts or splinters. Not saying it's lucky for us, it's lucky for him. So Skye insists that all she was trying to do this whole time, the reason why she let him back into her life, is because she was just trying to help Aezra and keep him from being the same old monster he's always been. But no, he'll never change, will he? And of course, Aezra tries to turn it sexual because that's how he usually gets her to cave. And Skye tries to keep him at arm's length, but Aezra is a one-trick pony and manages to apprehend her. And this is a really great chapter for seeing the complex and very convoluted thinking that Skye has right now, because all the questions I might ask along the way, she actually asks in this chapter for us.
Yeah.
For example, one of the questions she even asks is, why did she bother coming back with Aezra instead of staying at the bar with Elias? Well, her answer is because she's afraid of being rejected by Elias yet again, and she knows Aezra would never reject her. Do we agree with that answer?
That's a good answer in fucked up universe land. But at the same time, she needs to get over this accepting, rejecting thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if she wants a boy toy, get a boy toy. Don't get one that's trying to eat you.
Right?
But
at least not in that way.
Yeah. But at the same time, don't use Elias as an excuse, and that's what she's doing. She's trying to get some revenge on him. Well, you've been away, so this is what I'm doing. The person that you don't like.
Yeah.
That is so. Oh, that's so fucking stupid.
Oh so, additionally, she asks herself, why would she let Aezra touch her and kiss her when she intends to break it off with him for good? Well, her answer is because, hinting at what you said, she is punishing both herself and Elias. Okay,
there's other ways you can punish yourself. You don't have to sit there and go through something like that. That again, and not.
But this is here. This is what's happening.
She could stop that.
Yeah.
Why are you punishing yourself and punishing Elias? I understand punishing Elias. He deserves it.
Because her logic behind that is he stood on the sideline for 2 weeks, and then when he finally had her back at the bar just then, and she chose to step away, Elias didn't make more of an effort to keep her. And not only that, but she's furious with herself for being the one to step away in the first place. So Skye unfortunately gives in to Aezra's lust because she wants to be desired. She wants to be touched and needed, even if she doesn't want or need Aezra in return. It's worth noting here that the emerald necklace remains on during this entire sexcapade. And Aezra does not approve. The emerald actually burns him when he scrapes against it. But we're not going to get into why in this video. That's an Aezra video.
Okay.
Just know that he just brushes it aside and strips her of her clothes so he can have her way with her. And she lets him, even though the entire time she's wishing she were with Elias instead. And then a life-altering event occurs. Aezra looks up at Skye, wishes her a happy anniversary because it's the 1-year anniversary of when they would have been married, and bites her wrist before she can even stop him. She's bleeding profusely. She's in pain. She wants to cry, but she absolutely refuses to let herself, telling herself, no, you deserve this pain. This is your punishment. And she just kind of goes numb with her self-inflicted torment while Aezra feeds from her, nearly making her pass out from blood loss. And with that being the end of this chapter, I want to know y'all's reactions. Did you expect that Aezra was going to bite Skye so soon?
Yes.
Okay. Was this how you expected it?
Yes. He was going to find a way to catch her off guard.
I'd say this is a way.
And that was it.
Yeah. Do you agree? Were you expecting it?
I think he had these intentions the whole time.
Oh yeah. He'd been working. In a way, he was playing the long game.
Yeah. What is the implication of Aezra finally feeding off of her? What is the implication of this on Skye's future? Can she ever be with Elias now? Or did she just ruin her chances and chain herself to a Sanguise for life?
No. I don't think so.
You don't think she ruined her chances?
They're damaged.
I was going to say she hindered them.
Yeah.
But they're not totally gone.
No.
Correct.
Okay. What about Lilith?
Lilith's out of luck.
Yeah.
I think it's going to escalate between Skye and Lilith because of...
Naturally.
Yeah, it has to be, yeah.
But
It has to, yeah.
there's certain events coming up that we see the fallout of what's happened in that chapter. Yeah. And going forward, you're going to see some changes happening.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Skye's going to be chained to Aezra. Simply because of her blood.
Okay.
And her DNA.
Because we know now that she can fight him off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, if she really wanted to push it, she could make him disappear.
Probably. Now, I'm only going to mention chapter 26, which is the very next chapter after Skyelar gets bitten, because there is something notable that Hope discovers about Skye in this moment. So chapter 26 is another one of those where we are not Skye, we are seeing Skye through someone else's eyes, and this time it's Hope, because Hope is trying to complete the body bond. So she already has a very loose mental tether on Skye, and but she figures the body bond will strengthen that. And the best way for an angel to complete a bond with the body is when the mortal is vulnerable, and sex is a very vulnerable state. So Hope thought, here's my chance. But when she moves her hand, because she can see Skyelar and mentally put herself on Earth without being seen. So when Hope is kind of just running her hand over to complete the body bond, and she puts her hand over Skye's heart, Hope feels something. She says she feels something else embracing Skyelar, like a magical force field that barricaded Skylar's heart from intruders. We'll get more into that detail in Hope's episodes, but just know that both Hope and Bane can sense this, and they are both completely baffled by it and uncertain what to do about it. So, what do you think Hope is seeing or feeling? What is that extra layer of protection that these angels keep seeing on Skyelar?
That is a good question, because I want to say that maybe the Earth Guardian,
Okay.
or it's just really hard to wrap your head around a little bit, that because the necklace could be not only just a necklace, it could be a charm,
Okay.
potentially.
Yeah.
So maybe that's some of the protection they're talking about. But the way they describe it, it's more of an angelic protection than, let's say, just a mythic.
Yeah, just mythic magic.
Yeah. So you'd have to sit there and maybe venture a guess. It could be Angel of Wisdom, possibly.
Okay.
Because they are, at least one of them, I suspect, is aware of Skyelar.
Okay.
Because when Hope couldn't figure out, well, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the hand is telling you to look at this mortal.
Yeah. Okay.
So I got a feeling that maybe at least one of the Angels of Wisdom has a connection to maybe the family.
Like there's more to what's
Yes.
going on than we're actually being led to believe.
Yes. Whoever it is very powerful, because even the angels don't recognize it, and neither do the dark angels.
Yeah. That's
So
a big deal.
most of the angels should know whether you're a dark angel
Mm-hmm.
or angel of
You
heaven.
would think.
We never have seen Lucifer.
No, we haven't. He's been talked about
Yeah.
in books 3 and 4.
Or is it Lucian?
Lucian.
Lucian, sorry.
I knew who you meant.
Yeah.
Lucian, Lucifer,
Yeah.
same thing.
In the common tongue, it's Lucifer. So you think it might be a darker force?
Could be. Moving in the shadows.
I would
Well,
be.
he is spoken about, but almost sounds absentee.
I would be interested, and that's a good point too, because I would be interested now to know what you think his motives would be for Skyelar, of all mortals.
If she,
But is she
okay,
really mortal?
yeah, okay, there's another aspect. If we go by the potential that she didn't exist before 4 years ago,
Right?
she could be maybe a genetic experiment that just happened to have creature power, and maybe she's on a level that has never been seen since the dawn of time, potentially.
Okay.
And that's why Lucian, or whoever it is that's putting this protection on her, has that protection, because that's a lot of power that, if it unleashed, good or evil, could turn one hell of a tide in a battle.
And you know, it might explain why Samuel, the Pied Piper, is so hell-bent on having Bane break these ties. Because he said, there is a soul that cannot come to fate encumbered with bonds. It must come free. So maybe that's why he's so...
It could be.
And
But even he doesn't even know who it is. And the Pied Piper usually knows all.
Well, there's no wielder of fate, so that's really preventing him. So the next morning, which happens in chapter 30 for Skyelar, Skye sneaks out of Aezra's condo without waking him. She's incredibly weak from the blood loss, and she doesn't have a way home. She's absolutely miserable with herself. She goes into the...
Walk of shame.
Yeah.
She goes into the little... That's what it is. She goes into the little field by the park in the condos and finds some dandelions. And actual fact, if you eat their stems, it is good iron intake. It's not a lot, but it's something if you need it. So she eats the stems of a dandelion for those nutrients because she lost so much blood. And that's when good old Derek Noble pulls up and sees her. He pulls up in his big truck. He teases her about eating the stems of the flowers. But then Skye, because she's so weak, nearly collapses on the ground while she's talking to him. He has to run over and catch her, throws her in his truck, and they drive to the Devil's Fountain to get her car. When they get to the bar, Skye gets Derek to tell her because he keeps looking at her funny, and she's like, what the hell are you looking at me so funny for? It turns out Derek, this is another piece of the incident puzzle, doesn't remember Skyelar.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to, evidently, because everybody assumes that he does, but he doesn't. He has no memory of her whatsoever. And Skye is not surprised, knowing now what she knows. She tells him the bare minimum about what she's learned yesterday with her genetics and whatnot. And she lets him know that even though they've never met, she has a perfect memory of what Derek did to Peyton when he abandoned her before their wedding. And it was really fucking shitty. But he even says, like, I had no choice. And she flat out tells him, Derek, there is always a choice, and you made a shitty one. And it resonates within her.
I mean, that thing should have hit the window and bounced back at her.
Oh, yeah. And she also tells Derek, because he asks, no, Peyton is not happy with Wesley. So just give her time. Even though she claims that she loves him, we all know she doesn't. Give her time. Derek manages to use his very literal puppy dog eyes because Derek is a lichen and he is a wolf. So he uses his puppy dog eyes on her to convince Skye to try to find a way to get Peyton to talk to him without Wesley around. And Skye's like, fine, I will see what I can do. As a thank you, Derek offers to help her with whatever issue she had from that morning, because when she gets in his truck, she's like, I fucked up, dude. I fucked up royally. And he's like, I can try to help you with whatever your issue is. And she just kind of laughs because she's like, if you really knew what my life was like, you'd probably run for the hills right now. And so she gets out of his truck to go to her Jeep to lead him to her house. But when she gets out, she sees Ava's car parked on the side of the road. And Skylar's magical senses can see shadows of what looks like death lingering around the car. And it concerns her so much. So Derek offers to go with her walking down the path to Alchemic Falls to figure out what the hell is going on. Why do you think, my question here, why do you think Skye is so quick to trust Derek? Her sister, whether she knows him actually or not, the fact is her sister was torn apart by his abrupt and mysterious departure. So why should Skye be so quick to trust him and let him into her world?
Because I got a feeling that some of the stuff that she remembers may not be real.
Okay.
Just like the stuff that happened to Peyton may or may not have actually happened. She may think that she got her life torn apart and everything because, okay.
All right. Here comes a big theory.
Stay with me here.
No, this is the thing is Derek doesn't remember Skye.
Right.
Skye remembers everything that happened to Peyton when he left. Even though she didn't immediately recognize him. So, how is that possible? It's all memories.
Yeah.
So
then that begs the question, did the incident actually happen, or is this something that was made up?
The incident happened, but it didn't happen the way
they think.
Everybody's been told.
Okay.
Everyone has a different theory on it.
Okay. Including us.
Yeah.
So the very last time we see Skyelar in The Good Shepherd is in chapter 35. Like we said, she does not have a lot of chapters, but boy, the ones she's in are packed with good stuff to propel everything forward. So Skye and Derek in chapter 35, they are walking the trail to Alchemic Falls, and they stumble upon a body floating in the pool of the falls. And there are merfolk investigating the body. Skye immediately recognizes the dead body as Ava, her cousin, excuse me, and runs straight to the pool to convince the merfolk to give Ava's body back instead of taking it to the depths like they would have. The merfolk, of course, we've discussed before that they have kind of a respect for Skyelar, so they do give the body back to Skyelar without a fight, and Skye feels how heavy Ava's body is, like physically heavy. She also sees the massive gaping wound on Ava's shoulder and is horrified. But all Skyelar can think to do is bring Ava back. Her whole focus instantly becomes saving Ava. Yeah. And this is something we've seen Skyelar do before in panic mode in Veiled Commandments when Elias got injured when the beast attacked, and that she went into total panic mode and was like, I have to save Elias.
She does that when it's people she cares about.
Exactly. So we're seeing that again with Ava, where, excuse me, she tries and she looks at her and goes, you know what? I can heal wounds, so why can't I heal whatever is killing my cousin?
You got a half an ounce of blood in your body.
Exactly. But Skyelar knows, realistically, as soon as she sees Ava, that Ava's already dead. Gone. But she feels this compelling need to save her. And she actually gets a little frantic in her efforts. But Derek has to stop her and take control of the situation. He calls the HPA to come investigate, and while he's doing that, Skye talks to the merfolk to try to get information. They have no idea what happened to Ava. The mermaid tells her all we know is her body was about 50 feet below the surface, falling incredibly fast for mortal human body, whatever. Mm. And when they caught her, they noticed she was very heavy, and even for being in the water. And Skye wonders to herself, why was Ava so heavy? What is going on? But that question never gets answered because Derek returns and says, Sebastian's on his way here. We're going to clean this up. I'll make sure Ava's body is treated with love and care. And Derek sends Skye home so that he can just handle the dirty work and she doesn't have to deal with the loss of her cousin. Now, quick question. Why do you think Skye was so frantic about saving Ava? She knew she was already dead and not coming back. She even tells Derek, I know I can't save her. I want to, but I don't know how.
It might be a compulsion that she just, in that situation, whether hope's lost or not, you still got to go through the motions.
Okay.
Just trying to save another life, I would think. In general,
Yeah. Skye's like a healer, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like
she can be.
She's very much like, if she can heal, she wants to.
Yeah.
So, like you said, I think both of what you're saying go together, where it's almost like this compulsion.
Mm-hmm.
So remember that for future books. So Derek orders her to go back home. So she does. She goes back home. And she goes fast because she's wanting to cry. She's so overwhelmed. Everything that has happened in the last 24 hours, she's like, if I could just make it home and get in my bed, I can cry there. It'll be okay. So she runs through her house, straight to the bedroom, collapses in the middle of the bed, and just is consumed by the comfort of the blankets and pillows. We all know how that is sometimes. You just get, like, it's so comforting to be in your own bed. And she just sobs for a minute and just lets herself be overwhelmed and cry. And she's so devastated by the events of the last 24 hours that she just contemplates really giving in to the sadness and defeat. And she even says, I just want it to take me away to a place where I will forever be numb. And she's basically to the point where she doesn't even want to look at herself in the mirror because of the shitty decisions she's made lately.
Yeah.
And it sounds nice where she just wants to live in this oblivion and whatever, but something in her prompts her, sit up, grab her phone. She calls Elias. So Elias immediately answers the phone. He's concerned for her because this is really weird. They haven't really talked much.
Okay, that's not her fault.
And after what happened last night, because Elias knows what happened last night, it's really good chapters.
Oh, it's great
This book is so good. I'm not just saying that because I wrote it. It really is great for their character building. So after Skye tells him Ava is dead, all she can do is apologize, and she just says, I did something awful. I'm so sorry. And he just says, where are you? And she tells him, I'm alone, and I don't want to be alone anymore. I'm at my house. And he's like, I'm on my way. And they hang up, and that is the last that we physically see of Skyelar in The Good Shepherd. So this book is one hell of a roller coaster for her.
No.
And for us. Yeah. And it's one hell of a roller coaster all the way back from in the beginning, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, she has gone on such an up and down, and now you feel like she's tracking up, and you're waiting for the fall.
No, I'll look at it as you're waiting for the fall, because it's been up and down, up and down, up and down. You finally get to this book, and now everything is falling into place.
Okay.
Because she's had to deal with this half and half family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, half the family you want to burn at the stake.
Yeah.
The other half you love dearly.
Yeah.
But you're stuck with both. Now, by this book, the good parts are finally separating from the bad parts.
Yeah.
So now she has a path she can follow.
Okay.
Versus, oh God, I have to deal with all you people.
Yeah. So, before we go and wrap up our Skye discussion for now, I do want to ask one more question. Well, a couple more questions that I'll make one. Where does Skyelar go from here? What do you think will happen to her in Blessed Implosion, which is book 5?
I love that title.
How has this pivotal event of being fed upon by Aezra, how has that altered the course of her future, if at all?
Okay, as you've said in the past, in a way it was an inevitability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That this was going to happen one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was voluntarily or Aezra found a way to drug her and steal it.
Yeah.
So, okay, you've fallen as far as you can go. Granted, you could fall further, but
yeah.
let's be cautiously optimistic here. You've gone as far as you're going to go.
Okay.
All you can do now is go up. You know, supposedly the whole reason they're doing this, you know, she let herself down and did all this was because she wanted to get it out.
Yeah.
Whole reason he went through it was so that he got it out of his system so he could sit there and be devoted to Lilith.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can see her end of it. Okay, it's already done. I'm still me.
Yeah.
I'm still strong. Well, we'll find out how strong she is.
But I'm done regardless.
Yeah. So that's done.
Yeah.
Aezra says he's going to be committed to Lilith and, you know, all that. Well, we all know that's BS. So the fallout's going to be how Skye deals internally with herself.
Okay.
I think Elias coming over, because I'm assuming he's going to be there in the next couple of beats.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to reconcile in some way. And hopefully, after what he went through in book 4, he's going to be more open and honest. And they'll be able to sit there and get to at least a common ground.
Yeah. And
then they get to focus their attention on the people that have been scheming on them.
Okay.
And I see her getting closer with Peyton and Noel, which she didn't need to really do that much to be close to Noel anyway.
Right.
But now, don't have to worry about Cordelia.
Okay. What do you think is the future holds for Skyelar based on everything that's happened.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack right there.
It is.
I know it's definitely going to have...
like serious implications.
Yeah, more ramifications from
Yeah.
the bite that she got taken out of her, I think.
I mean,
You
it
don't think
could. I don't think so, because you've already seen that in book 3 that her blood can absorb his and destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
So, if anything, she just needs to obviously recover.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like, you know, she's going to be in any threat like certain other people.
Okay. All right. Well, that wraps up our discussion about Skyelar. That was seriously an amazing kickoff to the Murmurs of Murr County series. These last 4 episodes have been so much fun to talk about. So I cannot wait to record more about the other characters for their Murmurs of Murr County episodes, because it'll start tying things together. We started with Skyelar and are giving you like the loose ends, and now we have to rope everybody into it to make the whole thing. So
It ties the room together.
yeah, as everyone's fates become more intertwined, you will definitely see how these all impact each other. So thank you both for keeping the discussion going and keeping things lively. That is all that she wrote for this episode. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you so much for hanging in there till the end. We appreciate each and every one of you. We love you, you rock, and we will see you next week.
Catch up on the Angel of Death series today. The first 4 entries are now available directly at StevieJoAuthor.com.